Hey, this is Matt once again, and it's funny, as soon as I do this, my nose itches, maybe because of the guy who I'm going to talk about. But Splitsin91 sent in a paid request. Thank you so much for that. And for those interested in requesting pretty much any type of videos, topics, reactions, commentaries, re-reviews, whatever it may be, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or through my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box underneath this video. And that's a ranking he wanted me to do of Zack Snyder films. I had to think about it for a bit because, to be honest, of the films he's done, there's 4 I liked and 5 I did not like. And when I think about it, people don't get bad about this. I think Michael Bay is a better director than Zack Snyder. And believe me, Michael Bay has made me mad too, but Michael Bay, again, I think Michael Bay knows he's doing dumb stuff, and he goes with it. Zack Snyder thinks he's making genius movies, but yet still doing dumb stuff. Like, if Michael Bay and Zack Snyder made the same movie, I think Michael Bay would know it was dumb, and Zack Snyder doesn't know it's dumb. And I think that's the difference between the two. Just, I think Michael Bay, I would say I love Bad Boys, Bad Boys 2, really like The Island and The Rock. I liked Six Underground. I liked Pain and Gain. So, I mean, that's 6 movies there. Ambulance, but at the same time, like Ambulance, I reviewed recently, and I had, issues with it. But I would watch Ambulance over Army of the Dead, or Sucker Punch, or Man of Steel, or this other stuff. Even some of Michael Bay's lesser films, like Armageddon, I go back and forth on that film. But I'd rather watch that than those movies I listed. Pearl Harbor. There's stuff of that I like, and there's stuff of that I don't like. Like, I like the musical score, but it's trying too hard to be Titanic, and it's just, yeah. I mean, the Michael Bay stuff I hate more is the stuff he produced, like those Ninja Turtle movies that he produced. Or the Transformer films. And the first and second, I remember liking back in the day, but they just didn't hold up for me. They didn't hold up for me. But again, I would say I would rather watch a Michael Bay film than a Zack Snyder film. Just in Zack, like I said, Michael Bay, I think he knows he did a commercial where the commercial was him blowing crap up. Zack Snyder, he's like, I wanted to do Watchmen because I love the comic. Why do you love the comic? Oh, I love the comic because it had, I was reading these other comics and they weren't doing it for me. But this comic had, violence and sex in it. I'm like, well, that's not why you like Watchmen, right? Yeah. Or in my Batman movie, oh, that Batman movie's tame. In my movie, Batman could get raped in prison. He said this in articles you could find. And my neighbor's rooster, apparently his brain had a migraine from hearing that. Yes, let me repeat. One of them at least had a migraine. Zack Snyder said that he said that stuff. So again, Snyder, he thinks he's making this artistry. I think Michael Bay, he knows he's not making art. He's just making entertainment. I think that's the difference between the two. Now, there are Zack Snyder films I like. So, let me rank those 4. First, Dawn of the Dead, Legend of the Guardians, Watchmen, 300. God, calm down, body. I'm not there to Army of the Dead. I'm not at Zack Snyder's Justice League yet. my heart's trying to jump out of my chest because it wants to leave because it knows I'm going to be talking about Sucker Punch. I didn't get Sucker Punch, literally. Body, calm down. My favorite Zack Snyder film is Dawn of the Dead, the remake. I remember hearing about it. I went, the remake of Dawn of the Dead? Dawn of the Dead is literally one of my favorite movies from the 70s. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. It's my favorite zombie film. It's my favorite George Romero film. George Romero's Dawn of the Dead I absolutely adore and love. I'm sitting there going, why the hell are you remaking this? But lo and behold, I saw the remake and I actually rather enjoyed it. I was proven wrong. I'm like, okay. If there was YouTube around then, I would talk mad shit about Dawn of the Dead remake. And then I would have seen it and went, oh wow, that was actually rather good. Not as good as the original, but the action scenes, the cast, Ving Rhames, I liked a good chunk of the cast. I like the action sequences. I like the style. I thought the opening where everything in this neighborhood goes crazy and the camera work, like when she pulls out in the car and is driving, the camera's like behind, and you see all the chaos of the neighborhood. That shot where she's driving, and it's very tiny, and the camera's like going towards more and more and more, and you see this one car go flip over, crush this gas station. I'm like, wow. Now that's a way to open a film. It tried to be its own thing. It didn't try to have the same characters. It didn't try to do the same. It was the basis of the mall, but it was still its own movie. And I can appreciate that. It wasn't trying to be a carbon copy. I mean, I didn't need the zombie baby. And the zombie baby looked pretty goofy. But was it Mekhi Phifer? He was, I think, could have been utilized better. I don't care for the final bits of the ending and the end credits that pretty much shows that everybody died. But you don't see it. Well, yeah, that's true. You don't see it. But, I mean, the song almost says, it doesn't, but it almost says, they all died. Everybody died. But, I still like Zack Snyder's Dawn of the Dead. I think it has a lot of energy, style. I like the look of the film. Ving Rhames is a badass. And his friendship with the guy across, not done with words but with signs, I thought that was actually a pretty cool idea. And I think James Gunn had a good hand in the writing of that film. Did you see what James Gunn has done with The Suicide Squad and Guardians of the Galaxy and even Slither? And I think James Gunn was a good portion why that film worked. Because when Zack Snyder writes, he did Army of the Dead. We'll get to that. Number 2, Legend of the Guardians, The Owls of Ga'Hoole. I actually quite like that movie. It's beautifully animated. It reminds me a bit of something I would see back in the day where it's for kids, but at the same time there's certain seriousness and darkness to it. Like a little bit of the Dark Crystal type of feel, where like you have owls being, I don't know what you call it, kind of like the Dark Crystal, where they look at the crystal and they kind of hypnotize and stuff, and you know there's life and death struggle. Like Legend of the Guardians, I haven't seen in a while, but I remember being pretty impressed with it and being surprised by how much I liked it. And it did really beautiful images, and I thought the voice cast did fine. I don't remember any stupid juvenile humor, fart jokes, all that stuff. Like Legend of the Guardians again, I remember. I need to watch that film again, but I do remember quite liking that film. Number 3, Watchmen. I do think the film is a bit lengthy. You could tell that Zack Snyder again, he liked the comic more for his sex and violence than the deeper themes. But as a visual experience, I still liked. It's still a good looking movie. It still has a pretty good soundtrack. It still has some memorable scenes. Rorschach is still a cool character. I don't care for what they do with him at the end. I know that's the source material. I get that. But I still... That was a bit of a bummer, to be honest. The long sex scene with, what was it, Hallelujah playing or something? I can imagine like you're into superhero movies and maybe your parents like, hey, I like Batman and Superman, so they don't know crap about Watchmen, so they take the kids to it and they see this long sex scene and like, okay, superheroes have changed since I was a kid. It's not a film I liked as much as I did back in the day, but I still don't mind it. I can still say I could watch and liked the film. And I definitely think it's the best superhero movie he's made. But a lot of his time, him just kind of, took the comic, copied the look, which is, what a lot, not all, but a lot of people wanted. But I would love to hear, like, a die-hard fan of Watchmen, the comic. That's the thing, I haven't read that story in the longest time, so I can't call myself a die-hard fan of it. But those who are die-hard fans, I would love to hear their opinion of the movie. If you're all a die-hard fan of the comic and you watch the movie, if you hated it, please tell me, because I would be very curious to hear your opinion. And I wouldn't blame you. And then the fourth would be 300. I mean, the fucking This Is Sparta thing got so old so quick, it kind of got me tired of the movie. This is Sparta. This is Sparta. This is Sparta. Yeah, I get it. This is Prada. This is, whatever. But, Gerard Butler is what helped him bring him to the dance in the mainstream. It does have some cool visuals and fight scenes. And, Zack Snyder knew how to shoot it, so it didn't feel confusing. It felt very stylish and cool. That's the word you keep using, cool. And again, never read the source material, but it seems like, at least visually, it caught a lot of the source material. And, I mean, to be fair, Zack Snyder does have some visual style to him. I'll give you that. And like those films, Dawn of the Dead, Legend of the Guardians, Watchmen 300 are ones I could watch. And ones I can't or I hate. Rating them was a bit tough. If we're talking the most disappointing, it would be Army of the Dead. That would be number one as most disappointing. Worst? If I went through the whole ranking from best to worst, I would put Dawn of the Dead, Legend of the Guardians, Watchmen 300. Then I would put Army of the Dead, Sucker Punch, Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, Zack Snyder's Justice League. Now, those five I don't like at all. I did not put the theatrical Justice League since people say that's not Zack's film, so I just put his, but I think his version is the worst fucking Zack Snyder film I've seen. Army of the Dead I don't like. I still don't like for the reasons I said in my review. I can at least say there's a couple action scenes like the beginning with some of the stuff with Dave Bautista. I like Dave Bautista himself. I liked his character. I don't mind his performance. It just disappointed because it should have been in a better movie. There's a couple action beats like in the casino that I liked. That's more positive than I can say for the rest of these movies. So that's the only reason it's above them. But Army of the Dead was such a crushing disappointment. Sucker Punch, it's got some nice visuals, but that story is empty-headed. I know people have so much depth they put into Sucker Punch. I'm sorry, I disagree. I don't think it's as deep as people make it out to be. I don't think it's as deep as people want to make it out to be. I think it was Zack Snyder have a bunch of ladies in skimpy outfits, which I don't blame him, but just at least be honest about it. See, at least Michael Bay would be honest about it and say, yep, because I like beautiful women and barely any clothes. Zack Snyder thinks he's an artist. He thinks he's going deep. I'm like, you're not even as deep as a ditch, Zach. And the thing I hate about the film as well is it's almost like an anthology, and it should have been an anthology. It should have been an anthology where this girl, like her descendants or her future, her past selves or her dimension selves, something about this character, every version of her in each timeline or each dimension. This is all the stuff her lineage has gone through. And then it's just an anthology. Then you have your samurai, zombie, whatever. You have your robots. You have your Nazi, but at the same time it's not. But it should have just been a damn anthology. I think that would have worked better. But try to have this story where you have this very dark beginning, where abuse, but at the same time you have all this other crazy, ridiculous stuff in it. And then she's in an asylum, but then she, as in the asylum, she thinks she's in this dance troupe and doing a dance. But as she's doing a dance, she's imagining all this stuff. What does this stuff have to do and pertain to what's actually going on? They try to make sense of it afterward. Well, yeah, you have to get this, so you actually did this. But you actually, what you did in the asylum, compared to what you're doing in this fantasy world, I can't, my mind can't wrap my head again. When you were fighting this big old samurai robot, not what the hell it was, zombie, what the hell? When you're fighting this thing with a sword, what were you doing in the real world? Fighting a person, and no one was stopping you. The whole thing just fuck Sucker Punch. Man of Steel, I hate the way they did Superman in that. I know people like it just as a different version of Superman. Well, I don't like this version of Superman. Never liked this version of Superman. Don't care for Henry Cavill's portrayal. It makes my nose itch. Don't care for it. If you do, I'm glad. Not my cup of tea. Good score, at least that main theme. I thought Zod, I thought he was very, very over the top. I will find him. The action scenes, I thought they were clusterfuck, especially the finale where it felt like Superman destroyed more of Metropolis than any other villain in any other Superman movie. I still remember the one bit that capitalized what my disdain. Superman's walking towards bad guy. Bad guy throws something. Any other Superman would grab it so it wouldn't crash into anybody in case anybody's in there. He just dodges out of the way and keep walking. Like, that doesn't matter. Things get blown up, things get destroyed, that doesn't matter. Does it look cool if I do it this way? I'm like, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. Same with like Superman. Okay, I'm being spied on. Does it worried about me? How do I ease their fears at the end? Oh, let me take the spy thing and slam it down like a football after a touchdown. Yeah, that doesn't make them a bit more worried. Or you know what? We're in the middle of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. There's a damn crater in Metropolis. Let me take the time to kiss Lois Lane. I mean, there may be a shitload of people that need to be pulled out of rubble, but you know what? Job well done. The Superman I think of would have looked around and been horrified to see the destruction that happened. He would have been tearing up. Not crying because he'd snapped a guy's neck, Zod. He looked at Metropolis to be like, oh my god, these people. No! Felt like he gave barely a fuck. Fuck this Superman. Same with Batman v Superman. I thought that was worse because Ben Affleck's Batman is wasted. He was like the only good part of the movie, but he was wasted in a part where should have just been his own damn movie with Ben Affleck directing. Zod's Day, Doomsday, they forced that in there just for Superman to die. The fight was shitty. I mean, if you ever want to see Batman beat up Superman with a toilet, Martha, why did you say that name? Martha, 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 Marsha, Marsha, Marsha. Batman v Superman. Dawn of butt sex. Fuck that movie. And then Zack Snyder's Justice League. I will never watch that film again. Never. It's like 4 hours long. 3 hours, 4, 3, 6, 8. Who do we appreciate? Not this fucking guy. And not this fucking cut. And the more I thought about it, I would rather watch the theatrical cut. Because it's a lot shorter. And Superman is more like Superman. And this, Zack Snyder's Justice League is a garbage. And that's one thing I wish I could take back from my review. Fucking saying this was better than the theatrical cut. I don't know why I thought that. I just because I thought, okay, he's trying to make more sense. But then it just, with Zack Snyder's, okay, Wonder Woman's in a scene and she's beating up people, but people's heads are colliding against the wall and there's blood on the walls. She incinerates a guy. And then the girl's like, I want to be just like you. I want to kill guys like you. You will one day. Yeah, you don't murder, but, well, it's not murder. It's killing bad guys. But it's just that it really showed in this director's cut that she really did, like, murder. Yeah, it's not murder, but she really did kill. I did when you see the blood on the walls. When people collide, and there's the blood stains, and the little girl's like, I want to be just like you, Wonder Woman. Yes, when you're older, you will kill people too. Isn't that a bit fucked up? That the little girl be so happy. Cyborg can eat my balls. I don't care about Cyborg. I didn't care about his backstory. He gave this family a bunch of fucking money. So now they're probably going to get arrested in about 2 days. Going, hey, you put your name and your card on this. You stole all this money. I don't know how you did it, but we want that money back, and you're going to jail. So thankfully, good job, Cyborg. 2 days later, this family's going to go to jail. The finale. Superman was more lame in this one. That was so boring. And then it's like it's over, but we got like 30, 40 minutes left of the movie. Let's force Martian Manhunter in there, who did nothing but stood around with a thumb up his butt and watched. Oh, great job, Mr. Hero. You just stood there and the world might have ended, but I'm just going to stand here with a thumb up my ass. Of course, Ezra Miller, with how insane he is, anytime I see him, I want to punch him in the face. I hate Zack Snyder's Justice League. I hated the theatrical cut. I hate this one more, in retrospect. I do. I hate it more. And to me, it's Zack Snyder's worst film. Most overindulgent. The worst aspects of Zack Snyder is fulfilled in his Justice League. So if you're a gun-ho Zack Snyder, maybe you love it to death. To me, fuck the Snyder Cut. Fuck the Snyder Cut. I want to see other cuts. I want to see the extended Cobra cut, extended Predator 2 cut, the R-rated Kangaroo Jack cut. I want to see all those cuts. Not Snyder's cut. And I will never watch it again. And it can lick my sweaty balls. See you guys later. Bye-bye.